presentation for amazing thing on the afternoon. And there is an iPad floating around somewhere. Please sign in when it comes to you. This is not being given over to ICE or the FBI. It's just so we can say, we actually had people here, so we have enough, you know, there was people who were not taking it. All right, about 1 million cups. We are a free nationwide program, all about educating and engaging entrepreneurs. If you've been here, you know that's true. We're basically a big brainstorm session every week for 1 or 2 entrepreneurs who want to present their case. They run up against something that they need help with. We are the people who are going to help them. So today we have 2 presenters who are going to come up and talk about their organizations or the issues they run into. And you all are going to help them. So we provide ideas, connections, tools. We are welcoming and radically inclusive, fostering open and honest conversations with startup business challenges. I don't know why that's underlined, but that's how you have to say it. All right. It says we're active in over 117. I think it's more than 120 now. So, how many of you been here before? Welcome back, everyone. How many of you have presented before? Please stand up. If you're thinking about presenting, these are the people to talk to. If you're scared and there's a little trickle in your pants, talk to them and say how you know.
That sounds like
every week this takes a team of people to put it together and make it happen for you. Would the organizers please raise your hands?
Woohoo! Yeah.
These are the people who give up their time to you so you can be here and drink free coffee.
All right.
I would like to give a shout out to our partners, Incubizo, who provides the space for us every week. Let's give them a hand.
Woohoo!
And go to the Pride, who does a bunch of stuff for us.
We do. We sponsor this program.
They sponsor this program. They're our sponsor. So shout out to them as well. All right. Who is new? Who has never been here before?
Oh my God!
Wow. Welcome. We hope to see you every week, or at least a couple of times. So shout out to Open Thrive. Just a little bit about them if you don't know. They're a great organization that helps small businesses in Oakland County. If you're a small business, a nonprofit, they offer services. They'll set you up to work with people like me for free. So talk to them. And if you can't be here, we're on YouTube. We go live every week. So if you miss a week, but you're like, I need my fix. All I gotta do is go to YouTube and you can watch us. You can even comment. And welcome to everyone who's watching online. You can put comments in there, and so you can be a part of it even when you're not. All right. You can be a coffee sponsor. You're the only person who come up here and talk about pitching your business. Everybody else is giving you what they need, telling you what they've done, where they need help. But a coffee sponsor gets to come up and spend 5 minutes pitching their business. So if you want to be a coffee sponsor, talk to Christina, who's over by the coffee guy later on. Or you can sign up online. Speaking of coffee sponsor, here's this week's coffee sponsor.
Woohoo!
Lisa Davis. Where'd you go, Lisa? Here she comes.
Hey, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm doing my organizer work. I'm sorry. I was on my volunteer work. My name is Lisa Davis, but on social media, I am known as the Trusted Banker. And so what I'm going to talk to you about today is I did bring the coffee and the donuts, so y'all try to listen to me.
The donuts are so good.
Aren't they good?
Yeah.
Donut cutters is the best one. I'm working.
Next level.
They don't pay me no money. December 11th, I'm opening up TikTok, which has 230,000 followers.
What?
And I'm gonna let 15 people partner with me and go live to sell your retail product. As a business coach, I keep talking to a lot of people that graduated out of my cohort, or a lot of my clients about going live to sell, and people say, what am I gonna say? What am I gonna do? How do I do that? I'll open it up, 15 people, 3 people per hour. We're gonna rotate you around. We're gonna have music, we're gonna have dancing, we're gonna have food, we're gonna be in a secret location, we're gonna hype it up, and we're gonna help you sell your product. The only requirement is you must sign up and you must have product available to ship immediately. We cannot be on TikTok selling any product and you don't mail it out for like 2 weeks. You must prove that you have product available to ship immediately. So if you're interested in being a vendor and you're interested in participating in this, we're gonna do a 2-hour training to teach you how to sell live before you go live. Sign up here and then you can be possibly one of the vendors. So that's the first thing. And the second thing, as a business coach, I am also the person that teaches all about selling. And so I've integrated AI, ChatGPT, and social media into how to sell. So this is my other cohort. This one is online. It starts in January. And it teaches you how to close the deal. Pretty much just how to make money. As a banker, I am all about helping small businesses scale by increasing your revenue. So that's pretty much what I do. I just teach you how to sell, how to close a deal, how to make money. Because to me, if you can't make money, you can't pay for nothing else. That's just my opinion.
Very true.
All right, thank you.
Incubizo. So, if you want to be a coffee sponsor, contact us. You can do what Lisa just did. Well, I won't say better. All right, so we have 2 presentations today. So after their presentation, we'll line up over here. Anyone who has advice, if you have a connection, if you have something you've tried that you think would help them, come up and tell them. It shouldn't be you should do this. It should be I've done this. Maybe it'll work for you. And try and keep your talk to 30 seconds, 45 seconds, something like that, because we have to get through everybody and get to the second presentation. So if you want to have a longer conversation, give them your contact information and then talk to them further afterwards. So without further ado, let's bring up Jodee Gibson of Human Behavior Architects.
All right.
Thank you, Frank. And thank you guys for the warm welcome. I feel like this is my first time here and I'm up here chatting with you guys. This is going to be fun. Really quickly, I just want to preface this and say I'm a true Michigander. I talk really fast, but that's kind of good in situations like this. However, if I'm too fast and you're like, hang on, Jodee, time out, rewind. What did you just say? Please feel free to pause me. I'm here today really quickly to talk about systems, not symptoms. And so I am almost a world classified nerd. I nerd out things pretty hardcore, and I want to bring some things to your attention today and teach you guys some things that you may not have maybe surfaced before. So really quickly, a little bit about my story. I was a teen mom. I graduated from high school with a 0.9. I'm not really even sure how that's possible, but I think they were like, here, can you just go? Just take it and leave. Enough of your shenanigans. But I was a relentless DIYer. I always say I'm the queen of self-discovery. I like to find things out my own way, and that's usually the hard way in the long run. And so I was definitely a product of my system. Like I think that we talk about this all the time, that people are products of their environments. I was very much that. I want to say my older daughter is about to be 33, which sounds even crazy to me. But I just shared that saying I've spent the past 30 plus years learning this game called life. And the journey has been really a gift. I share that in saying I went back to school. I spent 9 years at Henry Ford Community College trying to get a 2-year degree. That's how far behind I was. But I kept going and kept going and kept going. And I'm currently about 5 months shy of finishing my PhD, which sounds insane. Thank you. It sounds pretty surreal to even say it, but I just share that and saying the gift that I've learned along that journey of 33 years of walking this space is I've been allowed to and afforded to be a part of multiple different systems that worked and that didn't work, right? So imagine growing up, I grew up downriver, very underperforming high school, was a teen mom, so the systems that I hailed from versus the ones I get to hang out in now, including rooms like this, are really powerful when you understand how systems work. So really quickly, that's what I want to talk about today. Right now, organizations, communities, schools, healthcare, everybody is bleeding talent, right? Everybody's burned out, they're turned off, they're overworked, and we spend millions of dollars on trauma-informed care, on wellness retreats. We spend all kinds of, we have truly, it's probably $1 billion business, understanding how to keep people healthy after the fact, right? While mental health diagnoses continue to skyrocket, and everybody's feeling the pain. So I just shared that saying, right now, there's a lot of people that are focused on trauma-informed care. Can you just raise your hand if you've ever heard the word trauma-informed? Right, almost all of us. So trauma-informed is the skills that we learn in case we encounter someone who has experienced trauma. In the world of Jodee, it's really reactive, right? So we're presuming that something has happened with this person, but we're not sure what. So I pioneered this new area that's called trauma preventative, which is proactive. Like imagine what it would be like if we started building cultures that were trauma preventative, meaning we're preventing it from beginning in the first place. Things that we know that are true, I also very much hate reading PowerPoints to adults, because I think that this gives you something to do while I'm rambling. But if you look at all the different things here, this is what builds systems, right? And understanding we all didn't grow up in the same environment, we all didn't come from the same system. So how can we have one book that's allocating what is right or wrong with any of us, right? If we get in the lane of mental health. So understanding the problem right now with the system is that we're very much reactive in the lane of mental health, and we're not really proactive. Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Let's see what else is here. Oh, so from the human behavior architects, we like to work upstream versus downstream. Like we'd rather build it the right way than keep putting stilts and reinforcement around it to keep it together. So really quickly, a little bit about what we do. We teach leaders how to build environments that heal versus harm. And so our focus is trauma prevention, and we do it in a 3-step, it's a very easy 3-step space. The first step is auditing. We come in and figure out what's happening. And it's almost like a silent shopper, but not really, because you guys know that I'm there because you hired me. But everybody doesn't have to know I'm there, right? But it's interesting when we think about the things that we've normalized and the people that we've become over time, because we're all built on these patterns that we just operate on. So step 2 is we help you redesign that, and then step 3 is we help you build right from that point forward. And then step 4 is kind of a bonus. We can also come back and train all of your trainers on all of our IP and our proprietary stuff that helps you keep that. Make sense? So instead of doing a trauma-informed or a wellness thing every single year, you kind of hang out with us one time and we train your people, and you're moving forward from that point forward. Our biggest challenges are we don't fit in a box. So the first one is there's a really big misconception about what we do. A lot of people think that we're like social emotional learning, or the DISC test, or True Colors, or these personality spaces, or that we're mental health consultants. We're none of those. The other thing is people often want it for free. I speak a lot for a living, and people will hear me on stage and they'll come up and say, oh my gosh, that was incredible, that was amazing, I love that, but they don't want to pay for what's behind it. The third part is it kind of gets lost in translation. People aren't sure what to do with it. So what makes us different is we have a system-focused lens, meaning we very much look at the system that the person hails from versus the individuals that are coming out of it, right? Much like myself, graduating from an underperforming high school, how about we fix the high school and the systemic challenges in the high school versus addressing every kid that was underperforming. The second part is where we focus on trauma prevention versus trauma-informed. And then the third part is this is research-backed. When I shared with you guys that I was a huge nerd, I've published papers and articles and done research on all the content that I'm sharing with you. So really quickly, I think anybody in the room could probably finish this statement, right? When people say, people rarely remember what you said, but they always remember
How you made them feel.
How you made them feel, right? Like feelings are deep. Emotional development is the foundation of all of my work, right? That's also where trauma lives. So really quickly, I want you guys to think back. How many people in the room remember or can pull forward really quickly a limiting belief that they have It can be as simple, and you don't have to share it. It can be as simple as, I'm a bad cook, I'm not good with directions, I'm terrible with numbers, I don't know how to do this, I'm not a that, right? How many people can think of something really quickly off the top of their head? All of us, right? And I'm gonna invite you really quickly, if you feel safe, to close your eyes, because there's so many distractions out here. And I want you to just take 1 second and say, how old was I the first time that limiting belief showed up in my physiology? Again, you don't have to share the limiting belief. I would never put anybody on the spot. But if somebody wants to share really quickly, just throw out a number. I just want to know how old you were. Like if somebody wants to say 4, 10, somebody shout out how old they were. 5. 5.
I was 68.
I heard 5, I heard 68, I heard 2, I heard 7, I heard 10, right? And my question is, that limiting belief is still really alive for you. And where else in your life, if you said 5, where else in your life would you let a 5-year-old make a decision for you? Right? Or where else in your life would you let a 2-year-old make a decision for you? Yet that is part of that came from part of your system. It's very much embedded in what you do. It very much impacts your ability to make decisions today, and you had no idea it was there or how much interference it was running until we just had this little fun thing, right? That's the kind of work that I do. So really quickly, what I tried, lots of things. Speaking for free, blogging, there's a whole list here of things that I've done. The top yellow thing is the book that I wrote a couple of years ago. That one.
I've seen that book.
Yeah,
I have it at my apartment. I got it from the Velocity Innovation Center. They have like a little library.
Oh my gosh,
But
so
I haven't
fun.
opened it, and I'm going to when I go home.
There you go. So I wrote that book 3 years ago that won a really cool award for thinking outside the box with mental health, which is really cool. I've written IP, modalities, done conferences, all the things, so there's a little bit of info there. What I'm currently trying, I just signed up, somebody was talking about LinkedIn newsletters, so I'm starting that just because I really do love to write. I launched a nonprofit maybe a month ago that's called the Elephant and Willow Project. It's focused on the same thing because a lot of times people that are suffering the most mental health challenges are also the ones that have the most limited resources. So it mirrors Human Behavior Architects. It's just a nonprofit. And we also have started doing really small workshops for small business owners versus bigger clients. What typically happens is all the things of what I kind of shared before. People have a paradigm shift and they're like, oh my gosh, this is really cool, but then they don't know what to do with it because it's part of their system, right? Or they have no concept of, kind of like the limiting belief. Imagine now today, now that that came forward for you, and you're like, hey, every time I think that, I have a 5-year-old running my life, right? It kind of gives you a little bit of conscious awareness to pause, and not that that 30-second example is going to deeply impact your life, but it may, right? The more things that you learn, the more you learn. I think a lot of times too that people view our work like, oh yeah, cool, I did that. It's kind of like, can we get really super fit and get a 6-pack by going to the gym one time? Or skipping that piece of cake one time, right? It's like this is an ongoing thing that's part of your system. And I kind of shared this already. I think that the majority of us could finish this idea of like we're all products of our systems. We're all products of our environments. Yet we're all really blind to the environment. We're blind to the system. We're blind to all these things because they're just built in. And so I often get silly and say, like, teaching people about systems is kind of like teaching fish about water. Because they're like, where's the water? I don't understand. Right? And it's not until the water becomes really murky, but they also normalize that.
Yep.
So it's about understanding these spaces. Community convo, what I could use from you guys is, how do you help people understand the difference between trauma-informed and it being really reactive and trauma-preventative? The next one is, who else do you think needs to know or experience this information that hasn't figured that out yet? Or hasn't run into me yet? Like, I love that you have my book. I don't know how or where that.
I'm stoked to read it.
I know, I feel like I also didn't claim in the crowd, but that's really fun. And then what's the one thing that you think that people could hear or you haven't heard me say, or what's the one thing that stood out that makes you go, hell yeah, I want that, versus, I don't get it, it's not for me. And so I also shared our biggest challenges in the corner there, just for reference. And then I think there's just one more, but that's not important at the moment, but anybody can share. I feel like those are the 3 questions I'm posing for you guys.
How do we contact?
All right, we're going to line up over here, give her some advice. I'm gonna find a microphone that works. Yeah, fine. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Also, there's a QR code on every slide. I heard somebody say, how do I contact you? This will take you right to my website.
All right, it's working.
Hey, Jody.
Hi, friend.
So I don't know the answers to your questions, because it's too technical for me, but what I do know is how to make money. And I do see that you're on YouTube with 20 subscribers, which you've had videos of 985 views, 110 views, 140 views, off of 20 subscribers. So you're saying something people like. So the more exposure you get, the more money you'll get. So it might look a little bit differently, but I would say think about a way to continue to do your shorts, because those are the things that's getting the most views, and get the word out there, because it's very interesting what you're doing, right? And then you can start making money and monetize social media, because people are interested in mental health, and people are interested in trying to fix themselves, and I like fix the person, fix the system, not the person. Figure out different ways to say the same thing 365 days a year, and build up your views. Eventually it'll get picked up while you're figuring out how to get into all those other things. But the more you have people following you and buying into what you have, that builds value, and value builds sponsors, value builds exposure, value builds visibility, value builds speaking and getting paid. That's all I have.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Hi, Jodee.
Hi, friend.
Juan Buford, founder of the Growers Project and a business development entrepreneur. And it's 2 things I thought about while I was listening to you. First, most of the business owners I've met, and I had this issue, this was something I had to overcome this past year. I found that some of the most successful entrepreneurs don't have offer. And usually, if you spend a lot of time with really, really elite, successful entrepreneurs, they've gone through their own trauma. And when you've gone through trauma as an entrepreneur or business owner, when you come through the BS.com, you can sometimes lose empathy. Because you start thinking, I came through this stuff, why can't you get it? Why can't you go faster? Why can't you go harder? Why can't you be as committed, right? And for me, the biggest breakthrough, and the reason it forced me to do a self-assessment was because I was having success, but I wasn't building momentum. And I think that's one of the most acute problems you can help entrepreneurs and business owners solve, a system like this, right? And if you can point that out, that no, it's not your system. Sometimes no, it's not the people, it's you, right? And having that type of conversation, getting the business owner to open up about that, can be highly effective. So what I would focus on with a lot of your content is not necessarily the sausage, what you do, but focus on what the impact is, right? That is something I thought about. The other thing I was thinking about while I was listening to you, LinkedIn is cool. I have over 30,000 followers on LinkedIn, crush it, get clients every day, every week. However, LinkedIn, you don't own that real estate. The algorithm changes. It seems like they're adding new things every 2 to 3 months, and it throws business owners off. I would encourage you, get your own independent platform. Get a Substack channel. And get your LinkedIn, get your people on Twitter, your other accounts to go to Substack. That's a space that you control. That's a space that you own. You can have an SME situation there and lead people there to a space, once again, that you really have control over, which means you can dictate what information gets put out. You're not getting penalized by the algorithm. The algorithm, quite frankly, people are interested in. So those are 2 things I was thinking long and hard about while I was listening to you. Hopefully it serves you.
Yes, thank you so much. I do have a Substack channel, but I think it's like the title's up there, and I don't think I've ever posted. So thank you. So that's a great idea. Hi, Fred.
Hello there. Hi, everyone. Melissa McClary Davis here. I want to piggyback both of them said amazing things. I'm piggyback a little bit of what Lisa said. But your first question, how to help people understand the difference between TI and TP? Why is that important? To help people understand it. I say that facetiously because it's all about messaging, and some of this is a little over the head for many people. You've already stated that a lot of people understand and trauma. So your world is open to a lot of people. But if you can pinpoint, you need to like pinpoint a thread of a certain segment, a certain demographic to get to your messages, talk about outcome, but kind of bring it down, and I hate to say it, base level for people, and just really talk feelings and pain for the most part, so people will really understand the transformation of like, I needed this. Because I think people don't know what they don't know. And because we're all trapped in these systems, you're really gonna have to dumb it super down for folks. But you also need to narrow your focus, I think, on certain groups. It could be modeled after people who are like yourself, who came from the same type of traumas that you have, to then make it well-known and exposure. But getting on platforms that you can control, getting on platforms like YouTube where it's open to everyone is there, it'll find its way to your, like it's already doing, to your customer for sure. But if you can narrow it down to a segment and then grow from there, that's my suggestion.
Thank you so much, I love that. I feel like my brain is spinning and I just want to take all kinds of notes. So that we are recording.
I was gonna ask you if someone's recording this for you. Very good, very good. All right.
Thank you so much.
So I'm Denise Roberts and I work with a company called Accelerate Associates. But I have a question for you, Jodee. Sure. Are you trying to come into companies and are you trying to teach something? Is that your intention?
In the long run, yes.
Okay. Here's why I'm asking this. This is something I've learned the hard way in more years than you've been on the planet. The fact that teaching someone has, think of it as a three-legged stool. First, it's awareness. I didn't know that. Okay, it's what you're making clear. Then there's understanding. They get it, they understand it. But here's the difference, especially in a company where they're looking for an end result. Most training ends at those first two. Awareness and understanding. You took a test, they can pass the test, they got it, they understand it, yay. However, what's missing is proficiency. And they're not going to get proficiency unless you put them in some sort of supportive, applied learning environment. And that's like a cohort. And that's where you come and you train your trainers to come in-house and work with them week after week after week. And as they make progress, we celebrate those wins. And as they regress, we talk about that and they learn from that and we keep moving. So that would be my suggestion.
Yeah, I love that, but I feel like it a little bit again addresses the individual. Where if they're coming, if we're pulling them out of their system to come over here and learn things, if we're putting them back in their system, it's like,
No, you do
how
it
do you
in the
address
system.
your system? Yeah.
You do it inside. If you are coming inside an organization, you sell the organization on the transformation to the organization and the productivity, because they're looking for productivity, improved, right? All these kinds of results that they want.
Yeah.
And they know that they got to work with people. And so people got trauma. So if we can work inside this and support them and have them move as a group and keep getting progressively better, then you've got it. Then people will come to you. You don't have to go look for them.
Awesome, thank you.
Jodee, Matthew Retigliano, longtime friendly heckler, first-time caller, book owner.
Love it.
So I feel like it's kind of like no one really wants an annual review of their job performance. Am I right? Go closer. Oh, I thought I had my tag out or something. So I don't know, like people don't ask for a performance review like at work unless you think you deserve your shit praise. But most of the time, people are nervous about being poorly reviewed or having their behavior called into question or being put on a pith. So I feel like it's a hard sell for an organization to want to see how they're creating the container for continued trauma or for burnout. So I feel like maybe going the route of an endowment or grant seeking that can support this work in practice. One that comes to mind that we can explore together is the Michigan Health Fund. So I feel like more like academic study, but that it is focused on organizations, but not necessarily pain is an interesting way to deepen your research without having to ask people to surface their own stuff, in a way.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, my work at all doesn't do that, but it's more understanding the container. Like, if we enter a school that has all these kids that are, I guess the word missing me, when kids don't truancy, right? And there's all these challenges we're addressing the kids versus understanding what's happening in this building, that kids don't want to come here.
Yeah, I mean, there's also a new administration in Detroit. Mayor Sheffield is totally amazing. So, and maybe there's ways to be a strategic partner. Also, this may be something you haven't thought about with architecture firms. Because there's a big movement right now in the creative placemaking discipline that's about how spaces create the conditions or ease the conditions for trauma. So, and architects have a lot of money and they want to say that they are trauma-informed builders and creating cohesive public space. So we can nerd out together just for fun. And I think you're awesome and I'm going to read your book.
Thank you.
So I'm going to be very brief.
Sure.
You've taken a lot. But the one thing you should always remember, sell, find the pain, sell the value. That's going to get you from, we need, interesting with your things, to, hey, you have a problem. Here's the pain behind it, what's it costing you? Then we talk about the solution. And that's going to get you more yeses than no's. So,
thank you, Frank.
All right, a lot of good advice. Give yourself a hand. I heard a lot of good advice. What's the one thing that you could implement right away?
I think jumping into Substack, two things, shifting and pivoting the space of, which I feel like I know this, and even this today, like leading with the pain, right? Lead with the pain and lead with that first. And I almost want to say devote the emotion, because as soon as you pull the emotion forward, you're getting the buy-in and doing that on Substack and different media channels. But I also love whoever said, like, not shut down LinkedIn, but kind of ditching LinkedIn, but starting it on Substack and then putting it other places so that I don't imagine.
There you go. Thank you.
Thank you, friend.
Give her a hand. Now I have to apologize for one thing, especially with all the new people here. Probably wondering, who is that handsome man with the microphone? I never introduced myself. I'm Mike McClure. There, that's done. All right, let's bring up our next presenter, Darralynn.
All right.
Hello, everyone. Hello. I'm super nervous, so please bear with me. My name is Darralynn Hudson. Most of you know me as a journalist, media strategist, but today I'm here to talk to you about a passion project, a shipping container sign. So, here's the origin story around my passion, right? So, as someone who has really told stories about celebrities and business moguls for most of my career, one thing that I learned from them is intentional self-care, right? My self-care over the years has been sauna spaces. And while I thought it was something that came new to me, I actually have a legacy of sauna. My dad goes to the sauna. My granddad, when he was alive, rest in peace, he went to the sauna every day in Northwest Activity Center. And what I really noticed is that compared to the men that are in my life now, compared to them, they don't really experience a lot of anger. They're not angry at me. They're not constantly shouting and upset. I feel like going to the sauna helped them in some kind of way to live more peacefully. So 6 months ago, I had the financial money to do what I wanted to do, and I'm not a shipping container. I really wanted to do it during the pandemic, but it was really 6 months ago when I was dating someone at the time, and he was a contractor, and we said we were going to do this, right? No plan, no purpose, just a sauna that I could use on a regular basis. But going through this process, because we were DIYing everything, putting up the walls, putting in the floors, putting in the dry and wet saunas, my purpose for putting the shipping container sign together changed. So here's the product. I want to put a dry sauna next to a wet sauna, and a wet sauna is the same thing as a steam room. My vision is to build the shipping container specifically for black men. And why you say black men? Because I guess the simple reason is because I feel like they need it the most. I believe that this is a product that could be viable both in neighborhoods, but also as pop-ups, even with organizations, partnering with organizations. So these are pictures of where I am in the process. The space is a 20-foot container. It's very minimal. It's dry next to a sauna, dry next to a wet. But I have a room in the middle that's just to decompress. If you guys have ever gone to a sauna or a steam room, when you get out, you really need to decompress. And then I have another room, another area that I am using to reflect. Most of the wood inside the space is being used from pallets that we're repurposing. That red door, I love my red door. My windows were all bought from Habitat for Humanity. I'm putting in my own money, my own sweat, my own tears, and that is what passion to me sounds like. So if you didn't know the science behind saunas, and I can give you the science behind it, but in my personal life, one of the biggest things that sauna has allowed me to do was to sleep. I'm sure like a lot of you entrepreneurs suffer from crazy insomnia. And one of the things that I started to do on a regular daily basis, when I tell you how I love saunas, I go to the sauna every day. It helps me to sleep. It helps me, I haven't had a cold or the sniffles or the flu in years and years and years, right? One of the things that my man at the time loved is that my skin was always very supple, right? So I do all of it. I do sugar scrubs, I do oils, eucalyptus, I do all of those things because sauna to me helps me to stay well. Sauna also can help, what I've learned is from joint pain. I suffer from arthritis and it comes and goes, you guys know, comes and goes when it wants to. And going to the sauna every day, rubbing myself down, really taking care of myself and my body has helped my arthritis immensely. There is science behind the fact that saunas really improve your bones. Why black men? I think the young lady that came before me said it. Really the people that need the service really don't have access to it, right? So I get a lot because I am in love with saunas and steam rooms. I get a lot in my thread on TikTok and Instagram. New organizations, new places that are popping up every day, but they seem to be pretty exclusively catered to women. I just don't feel like black men have a space to be vulnerable, to really unwind and to detach. And I wanted to focus on black men because those are the men that are in my personal life that I just feel really need this service. Here's the problem. As we all know, the people that most need the services, they don't get it. They don't have access to it. Especially men that kind of work as entrepreneurs in really high stakes or really have responsibility for themselves and their community. They just don't find these places. And another thing, because I go to LA Fitness, that's one of the places where I go to the sauna every day. And when I have taken men that I've gone out with, or even relatives, they go into those spaces and they don't feel safe. They don't feel comfortable. And I found that to be very odd because, like I said, my grandfather and my father were going to these spaces. But for some reason now, in 2025, those spaces have kind of become uncomfortable. And yes, men can go to the gym. Yes, men can go to the barbershop. But those aren't places for them to be quiet and vulnerable and decompress. So, because this was a passion project, meaning that I never thought about monetizing this. I never thought about making money or making it a business. It was always something that I wanted to do for myself. But because I'm thinking bigger and I want to give service to my community, these are the ways that I think I can monetize this thing. You guys can help me. But one of the ways is memberships and subscriptions, because obviously that's how gyms work, right? You pay a monthly fee and you go whenever you want to. But a membership, I think in this particular case, people pay a monthly fee and they can go in kind of for a limited amount of sessions. Drop-in, I think would also be a viable monetization, because I personally go to Southwood Family Sauna. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that, but they rent steam rooms and saunas by the hour. You can go in, you pay $20, and you can decompress for an hour. It's a private room. And I think those drop-in sessions are super popular, especially during winter. Another way to monetize is corporate partnerships. People that are already in the business of mental health, people that are already in the business of wellness, and as I spoke before, pop-ups. Detroit is huge. I just went to Afropunk last year. We're huge with festivals and huge with events. I think this might be a viable opportunity to mobilize it, to move it, and go where the people are. This is where I need your help, community. I'm looking for opportunities, partnerships. I would love to partner with people that are really already collecting data. One thing that I found is there's not a lot of data specifically for my community on the effects of sauna. There is a lot of studies on saunas and steam rooms, but it's not specifically for us. So I would like to partner with people that are already doing work. Strategic guidance, advisors, mentors. Again, I just kind of rolled up my sleeve and have been in that shipping container every day, modulating it. So it'd be really nice to have a mentor or an advisor that can guide me on this journey. And this is my contact information. And I'm done. I think this is
All right, nice job. I want a sauna now. All right, so same deal. Line up over here. If you got some advice, some thoughts, some ideas, some contacts that you can share with Darralynn here, come on up. Be part of the community. Don't all rush at once.
Yeah, don't all come at the same time. Darralynn, this is super awesome. I spent some time in Finland. I was very lucky, and where the sauna culture is so on point. A couple things come to mind. One, putting these along transit routes. I feel like another community that would be underserved is folks that are in the industrial fields that are Alice community members who definitely could use a way to decompress after a really stressful physical work. Also, having pop-ups at festivals is a really cool idea. There's also a place called the Lincoln Street Art Park, and I have contacts there I can introduce you to. They have container workspaces and other container pop-ups, and so I feel like that can situate right in. I'm happy to make some introductions. And also Detroit Shipping Company. It's a bar, but it's like a container village, and that could be a really cool spot to do a pop-up. But yeah, I think the part of this that's so cool too is the mobility of the saunas. So figuring out the configuration that works the best, you have a lot of time to experiment. So I'm excited for you, and you did a great job.
So you and I spent a lot of time together the last few weeks talking about this idea. I think you did an amazing job. You were not nervous, you did great. One of the things I wanted to know is cost structure, and if this were going to be something that you were going to sell to other people, do you have all the information available if they wanted to either A, duplicate this, or what would it take to operate this after the fact?
So I'm a shipping container nerd. So during the pandemic, that's all I watched on YouTube. People were doing some shipping containers, right? So I modulated this for less than $7,000.
Wow.
We'll be done at $7,000. I bought this container for $800. So to be able to do it under 10 years, I could definitely sell this for $40,000 to $50,000.
Wow.
I don't want to. I want it to be a service.
Sure.
So, but yeah, I think it's under $7,000.
Would you be willing to work with people who would want to do this? Maybe hire yourself out as a contractor?
Absolutely not.
No, but I think it's a great idea. I love it. Every gym that I've joined, I've always made sure that they had a steam room. that is very therapeutic. If you've never been in a steam room, you have no idea what you're missing out on, because it really helps. One of the things I thought about is from a stress idea. People that are under a lot of stress, stressful jobs, I think you mentioned that in one of your slides, especially for entrepreneurs who need to decompress, it is an excellent idea. You're on the right track. You just got to get your focus down on one path. And if anyone has some ideas, if you don't want to come up now, talk to Darralynn afterwards. Oh, there's some people. Get out of the way. All right.
Thank you, Darralynn.
I want to say thank you for focusing on
Speak up just a little.
thank you. So I suggest if you have any kind of positioning that you're focusing on your services like your work, so you learn working hard today, and then having to come back and do sauna and enjoy that safe space and feel good for yourself.
That's a great idea. Thank you. Hi, friends.
I love what you're doing. Can I just share that and say I think it's a great concept. I want to apply it, and I think focusing on system as well is so powerful, especially in this way. The other thing I want to share is every university, anywhere, has the data they need. But I think about Detroit is such a hub for colleges and universities because there's so many. Right? I think that all of us could say that we live within 10 minutes of a college or a university. There's probably 15 of them right here in metropolitan Detroit. And so all of them that have a graduate program and or a doctoral program are probably running studies and have the data that you need. And you can, I want to say they're looking for you too. And so you can walk into any university or jump online and just look at different programs that you think align with this and say, what is the current research or who's running research? Because most of the research, most of the concepts that they're trialing are going to 3, 4, 5 years at a time. And so diving in there and saying, hey, can I use your stats? And or be like, hey, we have this line right here. We want someone to test this. So I feel like I would jump into that. And then the other thing I just thought about, which I don't know if you're already doing, is I would almost put a laminated QR code right inside the door when people go to leave, right? That they have to leave a surveyor to get out. Because you also want to be there. Not really locks the door. Right? Have them do an exit survey. But there are 2 or 3 questions that usually maxes people out, either through yes, no, or the 1 through 5 sliders, just to immediately start collecting your own data to say, hey, we've been collecting data for the past, whatever, 3 years, 6 months, whatever it is. And so then you have your own data that also makes you a great candidate for, right? Then the universities need you and you need them.
That's a great idea. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello. I'm Will Hill from Seeking Knowledge Institute. I think I love your idea and I really appreciate you putting it together. Some ideas about partnerships are looking at some of the affinity groups like the National Society of Black Engineers, Detroit Professionals. There's a chemical engineering group. There's a Blacks in Energy Technology group. There's lots of.
What would I say?
Can I come to one of your meetings and tell you about my business idea? I'm looking for people to partner with. And because those people are typically have money, they can help invest and find places for you to put this thing.
Thank you.
I'm Lisa the Mayor Mayor. I'm not going to talk to you about grants right now. There are companies that provide the trailers with the portable showers and bathrooms that if there's a massive march or a massive festival, they're the ones who show up in the 3-day walk, those sorts of events. And that's their specialty, is putting these kinds of systems on trailers and getting them to the events that need them, or the entities that need them. They would be wonderful people to talk to about how to scale this and how to market it and how to connect with the types of events where you would find people who need these services. So that's like, event producers would know how to get in touch with the businesses that do this. When they do a 3-day event where people are camping out or marching long distances, they need these services from companies that specialize in it. I also think that physical therapists would love to have these, I mean, you think of a million applications for this. And do you know about pitch competitions and pitching on it? Okay, so that would be one of the things I recommend that you pitch your rooms out. Yeah.
One other idea, you probably, your target market is entrepreneurs. Maybe you could partner with co-working spaces like TechTown. You often do days when you do special events, where you can bring it in, and if not, just even if you can leave something with it, all their entrepreneurs right there. Just kind of thought. All right, give yourself a hand. What's one thing you heard today that you could implement immediately?
Oh, connecting with organizations.
All right.
It's beautiful to do meetings and tell them.
All right. Well, give her a hand, everyone. And again, if you're drinking coffee later and oh, an idea hits you in the head, find one of these amazing women and share your thoughts with them afterwards. All right. Announcement time. Are you ready to present? You can see the kind of help you can get up here if you have your own business, even if it's just an idea for business and you haven't really got it to the launch stage, or you launched 2 years ago, but now you've run into some issues that you don't know how to solve. Sign up to present. It's not a pitch. It's as you see, it's basically a brainstorm with fellow entrepreneurs. So if you want to present, you can scan this QR code or you can go to our website. Here are our upcoming presenters. Next week we're having a special event at Town Hall. These are always interesting. It's a little something different from how we do everything. It's kind of a touch base, how we're doing. Here's some ideas, where we want to go, giving feedback and all that. On December 3rd, we have CMT Solutions and AI integrations. September 10th, Mercy Education Project. December 17th, we'll have a real fun time. More stuff coming later, but we're putting together a year-end celebration that you're all going to want to be at. And then we're off, because, you know, the next Wednesday is Christmas Eve, and the Wednesday after that is New Year's Eve. And some of you might not want to come to those days. So we'll be back in January, on January 7th, we have Take Us Home and Value Naturals. And the 14th is Culture Ship. And as you can see, there's a couple open spaces. If you want to present, let us know. So, community announcements. Here they are. All right, this is part of a 3-part series that you can. So it's today, you better hurry if you want to go to this one. But it's part of a 3-part series. I guess it's the last one of the 3-part series. Join me, well, not necessarily me. Who are we joining?
Anita.
We're joining Anita, who is not me. September 22nd at 11 a.m. She's going to have an event. Informational experience. If you were here last week, you got a good taste of that. If you didn't record you last week, look on our Instagram and you can see everybody here dancing and pirouetting. So it'll be right here at Incubizo, only $27. Space is limited, so make sure you sign up. And with that, it's picture time. We'd like to get a picture of all of us to put on the socials. If you're on this side of that pillar, move into the middle so we can see you. If you're hiding over there, get over here so we can see you. If you're in the back, stand up, move forward. Let's get the presenter.